So the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
Future Bachelor, guys.
I feel like I should be in Hawaii.
Welcome to the show. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 89. Yeah!
Oh my God.
Almost to the 90s. Let's go.
Yeah.
I just wanted to start off with that song. I know I say it I start off the show with all my favorite songs usually, but like this one right here. I'm trying to think of the movie. I think it was like a Richie Valens movie where he like in the plane crash when he dies, like they play this song. But this song is in a lot of movies. Like I forgot what movie. I think it was The Irishman. It was just playing in when I just watched it this weekend. Which if you haven't seen it yet,
my family watched it when I was out, so
really?
I have to watch it.
Your family's like, she's gone. Let's watch it.
Yeah. I mean,
but no, I heard that. Like usually you'll hear it in movies when someone's like dying or like they're saying that they're gonna die, or it might be like a romantic scene where they're like dancing and first meeting for the first time, and that's the beginning of like a love story.
It's a versatile little ditty.
I mean, I didn't just play it for no reason. It's one of the most beautiful songs that I just remember throughout history. Like just you hear it and you're just like, damn, that's a pretty song. So guys, welcome to the show. What's going? Yeah, I mean, I was just wondering.
Honestly, I'm not over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think people have sex on our podcast? That'd be weird. Maybe at the beginning, at least. And they're like, all right, let's stop the talking. It started.
I don't know. Like, maybe, like, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. Maybe, like, us talking about, like, different pop culture things, like, really gets some people up.
Yeah, or maybe you want to be the first one to let us know that you have. Just do it and then tell us you did it. That'd be just cool. If you have someone to do that stuff with, that's cool, too.
Oh.
I mean, just do it. If you forget our podcast, just do it.
I mean, like, maybe,
Or forget the sex and just listen to our podcast. I don't know. We're both together, though. That's like Ultron coming together. But anywho, maybe I got too many layers on because I'm starting to get hot.
Yeah.
Describe to the listeners what.
Okay. So Sai is in here because he says that he hasn't turned his heat on because he's, one of those that's very
I'm not the only one though, right?
Stubborn. No, I mean, of course, people are like stubborn about when they turn their heat on, whatever. But your reasoning is because you get sick whenever you turn your heat on, which I think you're a big fat baby.
Well, also, I came from a house with a bunch of guys that had their own, things and stuff like that. So the second it got cold, like those days where it's like it was hot yesterday and it got cold today,
and then it's gonna be hot again.
Homeboys turning on the heat, and I'm like, yo, dude, put another blanket on your bed, put a sweatshirt on and some socks and a hat, and we're good.
Yeah, no,
I get the reasoning of not wanting to.
My father works in like heating and air, like he sells them for a living and like sets up. Like I've been trained on how to like do all that shit the right way.
Okay.
So like I don't fuck around.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he's like, Veronica, aren't you gonna get cold? And I'm looking at Sai right now, wearing. Are you wearing a sweater? You were wearing like a.
I got a
sweater with a layered over another shirt, right?
Yeah, there's a little scarf here.
And a scarf.
Yep. And I got two hats.
a full puffer jacket, which is something I don't even own down here in the South. Like my puffer jacket is up back home in Chicago because I have no use for it here.
Yeah, I do.
And then he's wearing is that a baseball cap underneath a like. I forget what those hats are called.
Like fur hats or something.
Yeah, the fur, like, it has an actual name. It's going to drive me crazy. Like, it's with the ear flaps. But, and I, as my mother would say, I look like summertime Sally because I'm in a short-sleeved full jumpsuit.
Yeah, I think it's more like, it all comes from like being like kind of broke before. Like I'm still kind of cheap, I guess, in that sense where it's like, I'm going to get a moment of time where I don't even have to use any energy, like,
Yeah.
And for me, that makes sense. But like there does come a point like in another couple weeks here, 2 or 3 or like it's going to get cold enough for me to turn on this heat and I'm be like, all right, it's on. And then I just leave it on like whenever I'm around because waking up but what I do notice is that like I get the best sleep in the cold.
Well, your body does better when it's like a little bit chill. I mean, that's like a proven fact. I mean,
Right.
That's why like when it's during the summer, like my shit is cranked at nighttime, so
I've been getting the best sleep here.
Yeah.
So,
mean,
if you throw on a coat once in a while, it's kind of nice, you know. Anywho, how's everything going, V? How you been?
It was Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
you
had a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do like a very small Thanksgiving nowadays. It's just my brothers and my parents, and then maybe my grandparents, depending on if they're at somebody's other places. So they were at other people's places. They came by later that weekend after driving back from Iowa from like my aunt's and cousin's place. And saw us for like a little bit, but it was all my brothers except for my brother Vince. He was back in Columbus, Ohio with his girlfriend because she had to work all day at Ulta for Black Friday. So like there's just no way they could drive to Columbus and back and whatever. So it was like nice. We chilled. I actually, like, this is embarrassing. I'm just going to say it because my family like has made fun of me. I got sick on Thanksgiving. Like I threw up my entire dinner.
Ew.
Because
Nasty.
of a rogue piece of turkey that was not chewed properly and was like literally giving me heartburn, and just I threw everything up.
Oh my God.
Awful.
That
awful.
is crazy.
So I redid my entire Thanksgiving dinner the next day.
Oh jeez.
Because I was like, I want to actually taste it. Brutal. Anyways, besides that, I got to hang out with my hometown friends, and actually one of my really good friends that I've been friends with since I was in preschool. She was back in town showing her fiance her original hometown and everything like that. And also she was there for like I think one of her.
Do you think that's like necessary?
I don't think so. I think it just happened that she wanted to do that with him because they were there for her brother's kids christening. So
I mean, I would bring someone back to my hometown. I just wouldn't be like, this is where the house I lived in.
No, she did that. Like, she did the full, like, but that's like very her. Like, she drove past. She's like, oh, we even drove past your house, Veronica, because we were like driving past wherever.
This is where Veronica lives. He's like, who's Veronica?
Yeah, but he met me. And so that was fun. Like, we got to go out a little bit, get some drinks. And that night when we were out, my best friend Michelle wasn't able to be out there with us because she had a special date night with her now fiance.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they got engaged. She sent us the picture like literally moments after it happened, being like, you guys, and I won the bet. So we had set bets like last Christmas time in my little like hometown friend group of we knew Michelle was gonna get engaged sometime this year.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, 2019, when do we think she's gonna get engaged? Because this was last year. We each got to pick 2 months because of how many of us there were. And so I picked early this year, April, and then I picked November, which, as I think I've said many a time on this podcast, like if I ever get engaged, I don't want my proposal to be anywhere near like Thanksgiving or
a holiday,
Christmas or my birthday or whatever. But I knew how she is. I knew that this kind of holiday is when she's able to be like around her family, and she really wanted it to be where she would be able to easily see her family after getting proposed to. Like, they don't have to all be there during the actual proposal part, but like she wanted to be able to like see them the next day or later that night or whatever, or like be around like us because like we obviously all don't live there.
Did they have a professional photographer?
No, but
did she get her nails done?
She did not have her nails done.
I like this girl. Yo, who is this, Michelle?
Yeah.
Shout out to Michelle, yo. Congratulations.
Yeah, no. So
thank you for not taking it basic.
Well, I always have my nails done, so, you know.
You know what's weird? It's like that would actually be like basic, right? Like in terms of like what basic really means. But like when you say basic nowadays, it's like over the top, like, you know, wedding proposal and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, like, I think like there's something special to me about like what I get really excited about engagements now is not seeing them in like a green field with trees and they're like, you know, dressed in their flannel or whatever, tucked in shirt, and he's proposing to her when like in golden hour or something like that. To me, like, you've seen that, right?
Yeah, of
you know, I
course
don't even
I
like
have.
those pictures anymore. You might be my best friend, but I'm not liking that picture. Like, to me, I think it's awesome to see the ones that are just like like they just took like a selfie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
boom. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
she did. Like, she posted her
they were at like a
pics,
waterfall where they didn't even have Wi-Fi.
So they were at the Lincoln Park Zoo, and it was like shitty weather all the time. I was back home.
I already like this proposal.
And so their picture of like they had like a quick selfie, and then they have like I think a couple more that they had like other people just like take of them like a little bit further back, whatever, like a random other patron at the zoo lights. And but so I mean, like, I feel like nowadays, like, you'll do like an engagement shoot if you like, because then those usually are like put on like your save the dates or whatever, like stuff like that. So I'm sure.
I hate the engagement shoot.
I mean,
I am such a hater, I know, but like it's just so. It's like cliche. It's
but
like
it's used, but
done.
you use those for your save the dates or for like the invitations usually. Like it's like
know.
it's sometimes it's like a necessary thing.
Or we get like harassed with them for the next like 2 months, like spread out over like every hour.
Sometimes I'm okay with people doing that with their wedding photos, just because like you pay good money for those. Like I'm okay with people like after like you get your wedding photos back, maybe spreading those out a little bit. But like then it gets obnoxious where it's like 4 months married. But
people can't help it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm offending people that have already done it, but I'm not like offending. Like, we are in a society that's what's done. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have your baby, like that's only baby pictures we're gonna see from now on. But like that's the most exciting like moment in your life. Like, and I guess I wouldn't know until I get there. And I just like, I really want my proposal, hopefully when I do it, like it's gonna be such a surprise. Like it was just like out of nowhere, you're like, holy crap, like are you serious? Like that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, yeah, she had no idea like that the proposal, like she had no idea. Like she was totally surprised, which I love.
Yeah.
And cool. It was great because then we got to like celebrate with her the next day and things like that, and like all her family was in town, so they got to like do like a big brunch together. And so I feel like it was best case scenario for her, so that's awesome. She loved it. Her ring is very beautiful, and I'm really excited for her.
Cool. And then we did game night.
We did game night, which was our first game night in months.
Yeah, they were excited to see us. I mean, I dressed to the theme. Because there was a contest.
There was, and I was gonna, so like there was like a,
Did you didn't have a chance to vote for the contest, right?
No, because I was technically in it.
Yeah. I just don't understand. I had the hat, I had the scarf, I had the shirt.
The hat doesn't make it Christmas.
I mean, what does it make it then? What, you wear this like in summertime?
It's just a winter hat.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had the whole theme going. No one had a hat, a winter hat. Did you?
No, because
I went an extra mile for it.
Why would I wear a hat? It's indoors.
Because it's a theme. It's part of the Christmas theme. If it's a winter hat, why wouldn't you wear a winter hat at Christmas? Would you not? That's the only day you don't wear a winter hat?
I don't wear winter hats indoors.
Okay. Well, I wear hats indoors all the time, and that was part of my costume. I'm just a little bitter because I didn't. It's another contest I didn't win.
Yeah, well, I like John's better, but that's because I like Star Wars. So.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people would like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I did like yours.
Yeah.
Yours was
you
good.
didn't even watch that show, so.
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, not as much as Star Wars, apparently. So.
I mean, what? I watched them both the same. What? Okay.
You just said you like the Star Wars sweater because of Star Wars.
Because I love Star Wars, and I love all Star Wars shit.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I'm a little bitter about that.
Yeah, not bitter at all. How was your Thanksgiving? What are you thankful for,
I'm thankful for, the fact that I don't like to play games that I lose. Like, that's just like one of the
I don't
things.
think that's a good thing to be thankful for.
I don't like to play games. That's the problem. I think, you know what I'm saying? I don't play games like Milton Bradley and shit. Like, no, I don't. But I do like to, like, what was the game we were playing last night? I was like, what is this? Why are we doing this? You liked it, but I didn't.
Oh, it was America. It was a really fun game because, like, you had to guess what year, what state, and what, like, amount of number for, like, some sort of trivia fact. So, like, one of them was, like, Reese's Cups. So, like, what year were year were peanut butter cups invented? What state were they first sold? And then, like, how, I don't know, I think it was, like,
how much did they cost?
Yeah,
like,
how much did they cost the first one?
So to me, like, that's like I can just like Google those facts, like, you know.
But
what I'm
no,
saying?
it's fun
to guess and then to be wrong. No, I don't think that's.
I think it's fun to learn stuff, and it's fun to like.
If I want to learn stuff though, I'll research. All day long I learn about things all day.
So you don't like trivia though.
I like trivia.
This
trivia.
Is trivia.
I don't like American history trivia.
I
like
love history, and
yeah,
I love all trivia. I'm good at trivia because I like history.
Yeah. Well, trivia is not just about history. There can be pop culture trivia, which I love all day.
But that's technically history too.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't like
technically what we were doing, some of it was pop culture.
I guess, but it was like a lot to do with like sports.
I love
and
sports.
Like, yeah, I'm just like Monica was like, "Did you have fun?" I was like, "Yeah."
I know. Well, you're just,
Yeah, I'm not a good game player. I told you I don't like games.
love
But
games.
I did have Thanksgiving, and it was really focused around the family and stuff. My sister can't do much besides go to the hospital and see my nephew.
Is she like doing okay?
I mean,
Physically,
she's getting better. She had some serious surgery, but
Yeah.
That's just a work in progress. She just has to. But the thing is, it's not like she gets to like just rest all day. Like she, has to go back and forth to the hospital a lot, like to see, the baby. And today she just told me like, they're not letting like visitors into the NICU anymore because of like flu season.
Well, yeah,
stuff,
no,
so.
I was about to say, I'm like.
But I mean, that's just like
I'm
a
happy,
thing right now.
but you got to meet him though.
Yeah, but it just sucks. Like if I went back, like I can't see him until he comes home now, and that's like over like a month away or something. So, or it could be. So I don't know. That's one thing. But I got to chill with the family.
Are you just gonna keep clicking around?
On what?
You just keep clicking around.
Oh yeah, I'm a clicker, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I forgot what I was talking about.
You went drunk golfing. You had family. I'm just trying to read your notes.
Yeah, there's not much here. Yeah, I went drunk golfing. I mean,
do you actually
did
golf?
enough for both of us. So
do you actually golf?
No, I don't. I did drunk golfing. I just wrote it down.
So like when you drunk golf, do you just like ride around and you watch everyone else golf?
No, I actually golf, but like
okay.
that's a new thing. Like I did used to just it's getting kind of hot in here. I think
yeah, it's getting hot in here, so take off your hat.
Yeah, no, I don't like sports. I think they're boring. And also like
I mean, like golf is the most boring sport.
I thought so, but it's really not. Like it's actually really fun once you do it. Like I guess that's
kind of how it works with sports.
That's not the case. Like soccer is not fun when you like.
I love playing soccer.
Yeah, it's not like fun for me. Basketball is not fun.
I mean, I'm not.
Golf is cool because like it's on you. Like if you do a bad shot, it doesn't really affect like someone else's
you just
bad
don't
shot.
like team sports. That's.
I don't like to lose things. That's like obviously that's the theme of this thing is that I don't like to lose things.
Yeah,
and then
but
golfing,
like you can't always win, Si.
I'll try to.
I mean, yeah, so will I. But like sports teach you that you can't always win.
Well, that's probably why I never played sports and I didn't learn that. But to me, it's like don't do things that you just would lose at. Like, you know what I'm saying? I guess.
But you can't get that's like that logic.
That's my logic. I can't help it. Like if I'm not good at it and I'm going to lose at it, I'm going to pivot and go to something else that I'm better at and I enjoy. That's just the way I do it. And golf is one of those. Country music and golf are two things that like I can remember in my head that were just things that I was like I'll never like, you know what I'm saying? I'll never listen to country music and I'll never play golf. They're just boring.
And we were just listening to Casey Musgraves before
that was always going to be the slapper this week. And like, and then I worked at a country station. I was like, damn, this music is actually like
Justin
more down my lane.
Bieber always says, never say never.
I wouldn't know. But he,
never say never.
We'll talk about things you should never do about Justin Bieber later. But, and it's a frequent thing. It's funny because I brought it up on the show multiple times and now we can actually talk about it because it's relevant. But I think like, when it comes to golfing, it's cool because like people can go out there and as long as you don't take it too seriously, I've seen people like I used to be the guy that goes out on like the golf cart and just plays the music and gives people beers and stuff. I'm like a caddy. And but I enjoy it.
A really shitty caddy because you can't actually help them with their play.
No, I mean I'm just like the guy that's like there. I'm like for fun caddy, but but yeah, we go out there get some beers and stuff, and like by the 9th hole, I think at the 10th hole we took a shot. And then I don't remember the rest of the holes, so it was just like really fun. But it was a great day. That was probably the most like fun I had over the.
I used to golf.
Weekend.
I used to golf as a teenager.
Really?
Yeah, like I would do golfing camps every year.
I just like going in small groups of like for people, just friends, someone that's like gonna kind of give you tips and stuff, someone that's like your level. And
we should mini golf sometime. My putting game is insane.
Actually, I should probably. My putt game sucks, but yeah. So that's what I did. I hope everyone out there had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hope I know how that holiday could sometimes be like rough for people, but I hope you found some fun.
I've gotten through some rough Thanksgivings, and so I feel like I'm pretty prep for them now. But I mean, you never know. Some things are just more devastating than others, like and that can happen anytime. But during the holidays, it's always the worst, especially if it happens like before Thanksgiving. You have to coast through Thanksgiving with all that, and then Christmas and stuff. And those are the times that you like remember things the most. So
got a lot of free time.
Yeah, but anyways, I think
we're late for our plane.
we've missed our flight. No, we didn't. Here it is. Quick hits. What do we got for some quick hits?
Okay, I'll be honest. On last week's episode, I don't remember hearing, like, I was listening back to it. I don't remember hearing the plane noise.
Well, I heard it, and if you guys want to see if you didn't hear, you should listen to last week's episode. Just tell us if it was there or not. Fun game. No, it wasn't there.
I was like, oh my god, am I insane?
I was just trying. No, it wasn't there. It was like quick hits, and it was just like silent. And we're just like waited for a second. They're like, okay, what are some quick hits? What do we have some quick hits?
Okay, so Olivia Jade, daughter of Lori Loughlin.
Yes.
YouTube personality. Part of the Operation Varsity Blues.
Yes.
She returned to YouTube.
Aunt Becky's
daughter.
From Full House, yeah.
She returned to YouTube for the first time in like 9 months. And, pretty much just did a video of her being like, I've missed creating. I'm sorry it's been a while. Blah, blah, blah. And pretty much was like, I can't talk about anything. We're like, bitch, we want the dirt. Like, we want to know. But, like, legally, she literally cannot say a damn thing.
And also, I don't think she'd be able to say anything that's going to make it better for her or explain any of the situation.
No, I mean, like, she just kind of was like, I'm working on myself. I'm working on, like, being better. Because, like, even in the past, she had, like, said stuff about how she's like, I know, like, I'm going to college. So, like, I guess I'm here to party. And I'm like, I don't really care about school and, like, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, to me, it's like.
Which sounds even shittier knowing that, like, her parents paid, like, $500,000 to get her in.
It's all, like, about the look of it. And
that's crazy.
And she should just like stay off and try to do something else. Like I don't know. The YouTube thing is not. I don't think her lane.
Well, maybe she should just stick to, like, because she does, like, beauty stuff. So I know she has, like, different partnerships that have, like, kind of fizzled out. So, like, maybe she needs to stick in that space. But I feel like it's hard when you've created such, like, a brand around being a YouTuber. It's, like, kind of like, okay, that doesn't, like, that's more based on, like, personality and lifestyle. If you don't have, like, some sort of, like, maybe tangible thing to pivot to, I feel like it might be hard for her.
The thing is, it's like, it's not just her. Like, if it was just her, but it's also like her mother. So it's like she can't, things that she does will reflect onto her mother. That's why if it was just her, I would say, dude, just put it all out there and stuff. But like Lori Loughlin has her, and she's also was the one that didn't plead guilty. Yeah. So it's like this woman, the other one, Felicity Huffman. Yeah. She already is like done with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Did her time. And whatever. Now, like, she might do a lot more time, actually, which is kind of crazy. It was be interesting to see. But what else we got? So, Dwayne Wade, which only my family, when they listen, will be like, Dwayne Wade. Yeah. They'll get that joke. But, so Dwayne Wade and his fam, Gabriella Union, whatever, the beautiful fam, took a picture for Thanksgiving, posted it on the gram, wished happy Thanksgiving. So, his son, Zion, he's like 12, he was wearing a crop top and he had some acrylic nails on. And so there's a lot of hate in the comments of like being like, Dwayne, like, how are you letting your son dress like that? Like, what's going on? Like this, like stuff like, which especially in the Black community, like that's like a big thing. Like, we've talked about it before, where the Black community especially has been known for the prejudice against the LGBTQ community, and like especially when it's like kind of encroaching on masculinity and how masculinity is performed and things like that. But so Dwayne Wade came out with a tweet being like, I've seen some post-Thanksgiving hate on social about my family photo. Stupidity is a part of the world we live in, so I get it. But here's the thing, I've been chosen to lead my family, not y'all. So we will continue to be us and support each other with pride, love, and a smile.
and the peace sign emoji. So,
which is cool, but do you think he has to even say anything?
He shouldn't. Like, I mean, like, I think he's...
I feel like he always reacts to, like, anything.
I mean,
like,
Dwayne Wade, I feel like he's just coming out with, like, I feel like that's, like, a totally fine statement to say. Like, I have no issue with that. I feel like that's just, like, him being...
I'm just saying, how does that help the situation?
I mean, it just, like, says, like, because people were questioning, his ability to lead a family the right way because he's letting his son dress that way. And I think it was just, like, him being like, I'm leading my family the way I want to.
Yeah, but if he didn't say it, would it change anything?
I mean, I don't think so, but I think people like were looking to see like if he was going to say anything because like you don't want like your son and like whatever and your family being attacked and like you say nothing. Like I feel like he just came out. I feel like this is a very non-combative statement. Like the only thing that's kind of combative about it is like stupidity is part of the world we live in. So I get it that people are saying stupid comments, but I mean,
I'm just saying he's not saying anything that's not like obvious to me.
I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of people that's not obvious to.
Right. But I mean, like to even have to like talk to those people, it's like, it's sad. Like, it has nothing to do with it. Like as the future goes on, fashion and things are going to change. Like nowadays, like when I was a kid, people weren't putting blue in their hair and like thinking they were hot. Like people are putting like blue in their hair and shit now, and they're like,
well, yeah,
that's like a fashion thing.
Well, and
people are like, painting their nails. Like I've even considered like, just doing it just like for no good reason.
And it's just become about like, like gender presentation has become so much different now because people are becoming more and more free on like how they present their gender or what gender even means to them or like if they're like gender's a construct. So it's just like that. I mean, his family, they've all been super supportive. Like Gabrielle Union and stuff went to Pride with Zion, like his older brother, like because Zion's like from a previous relationship and like things like that. So like they've all like, I mean, obviously like the family has no issue with like.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about more stuff going on in the family. We had, it's been all over my feed about Gabrielle Union being fired from America's Got Talent.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see that, I'll be honest.
I saw it. It was one of the, the show has, in itself, has, she's been saying that the show, she's been fired because she was complaining about things on the set.
Oh, yes. A racist joke.
Yeah. Well, there was I guess Jay Leno is hosting it now or whatever.
Jay Leno, yeah. Or
he's a host or he's or I don't know what he is, a judge or something. But he said something about like Asians or something
Yeah, and then also people wearing hairstyles that were too black for the show's audience.
Yeah, they were saying like she was wearing hairstyles that were like too black or something like that.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, so I mean, and then like Howard Stern came in and was saying this is Simon Cowell's fault because like he kind of like facilitates this type of environment.
Oh, of course, yeah.
All the male judges have pretty much stayed the same, and and he's always switching out for like a new hot girl or something like that.
I mean, yeah, Simon Cowell is like icky to the bone. Like, I mean, like he's definitely like, even just like how he used to judge for American Idol and stuff. Like he definitely like was always about like getting hotter, prettier girls, like doing like, like whiter or,
as a music exec or whatever, like I could see like there was a time where you had to fit inside of this mold to be a star. Nowadays it's not like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people are breaking that mold literally. Like, so
I mean, they as the execs, they were creating those molds though. That's the thing. Is like they were helping create what was gonna be popular.
I mean, you can blame them all you want, but at the same time, like that was like what people were liking to see. Like
that's because like that's like, and that also just speaks to like a larger. I feel like I say this every episode. That speaks to a larger societal like structural thing.
I don't think that's just structural. I think I think a society can like something and not like it in the future, in the past. Like it just is like. You could tip one way or the other, but like people just like what they like. Like we are still learning as humans, like how we want to be and how we want to act, and like what we consider beautiful and what we don't. Like that's not just any. That's not. I mean, I don't think that's like a structure thing. I think that's just like for person to person thing, like and it doesn't help now, like in society with social media, like it should be even worse now, but it's that's why I'm saying things about like Dwayne Reed like responding to this type of stuff, because it's like, who are like you just have to be an idiot to have a problem with the way someone else's like what their kid is doing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know like what kind of world we live in where people like take like time to care about someone else's life. Like, it's just really sad. So to me, it's just like, you know, when it comes to Gabrielle Union, like, she's a pretty stand-up person to me. I haven't really seen much from that family, and I think that's a great family right there. So, you know, to me, I think it's not fair if she feels that way. I definitely think it needs to be, you know, settled one way or another. But yeah, they're saying that she got fired, her, and I think who's the other? Huff something Julianne Huff or something. Or
did she get fired?
I think she got fired too.
That's wild.
Yeah, so they were only on for the last season as judges. So
yeah.
Talking about more celebrities, Dakota Johnson, who I just found out she's, you know, who her parents are. They're both actors and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm watching the show called The Watchmen right now, and spoiler alert, her dad's in it, and well, at least in the first episode, and yeah, so I mean, well, if you're not watching it right now, you've messed up. That show is amazing. It's really good. But yeah, you know, Dakota Johnson, you know, has had a couple of awkward run-ins with Ellen on her show. I've read this like deep dive into like what was going on.
Yeah,
and stuff,
so like she's been on the show in the past before, like talking about her birthday, and like then it was like kind of like the short version is that like last year Ellen like made a joke about like how she wasn't invited to.
Well, even before that, like it was like, wasn't she like, she came out in like a short skirt, and Ellen was like trying to cover up her skirt and being like it's too tight, and then she was like leaning into a rumor of Ellen like was leaning into a rumor of like, are you pregnant? That's a pretty tight like skirt to be wearing if you're pregnant. And it was like really like weird interaction.
Yeah.
And like, let's preface this whole conversation with like, you know, the optics of what Ellen is to the general public. It's like this nice, bubbly, like kind, does everything for anyone.
I mean, yeah, they give like shit tons of money to different people.
But like, there's also another side of Ellen that people are saying that is not that.
Yeah, we've talked about it on this before. We have.
So, you know, with that being said, you know, last year she talked about her birthday, and you know, Dakota Johnson was straight up like, I didn't think you liked me, Ellen. And Ellen's like, I like everyone. She's like, yeah, but, and so this year Dakota has her party and she invites Ellen, and then Ellen brings her on the show and she's like, happy belated birthday. When was your birthday? And she says it, and she's like, actually, it's like, why wasn't I? And like, Ellen's trying to
Ellen does the whole like, well, I mean, I wouldn't know because I wasn't invited.
Right.
And Dakota's like, that's not true.
Is that gaslighting?
You were. It could, I mean, like, it could be like low level. Yeah. Like it could be like trying to say that like, I mean, like, because gaslighting at its core is convincing somebody else that like what they're saying isn't true.
And that's what I like about Dakota Johnson, because she's like, actually, like quote, she's like, that's actually not true, Ellen. Like, you know, I did invite you.
She threw it to the producers.
Yeah, she was like, ask anybody around here. You were, and he was like, you were invited. And she was like, well, she's
like, oh,
like, yeah, where were you? And
they were like, out of town.
And she was like, oh yeah, I had that thing. And the thing was, her going to, like, she was in the next day after that party was when she was in Texas with George W. Bush. Yeah.
Which that was a whole big blow up then too.
So like at this point, it's just like one of those awkward situations that like,
a little awkward hole.
You're like, but it was satisfying to watch. I don't know why. Some things that are cringy, like I can't watch it.
Oh, see, like I love you. Like I've said it before. Like I love awkward things.
All right, this is a little off topic, but last night I tried to watch. I've seen it before, but I was just looking for like a quick, funny movie to just watch. You know, I didn't want to think about what I was watching, and I'd seen. I was like, oh, I remember watching Dumb and Dumber, like not Dumb and Dumber, but Dumb and Dumber. It's like the prequel, and
oh yeah, that was like recent.
I mean, no, it was like actually a while ago. They did a sequel that was more recent than that, but but regardless, it's like When Harry Met Lloyd, and you know. It almost like borderline is like they got some special needs or something like that. And it's like I couldn't even watch it. Like when they're adults, it's kind of like when like back in the day it was funny, but like I was watching it and I couldn't watch like them getting picked on by the bullies. I couldn't watch them like just get themselves in bad situations and stuff, and I was just like, I can't do this. I'm like, and I turned it off.
I feel like that's like not just awkward. That's like kind of like, it's more like, that feels more icky than awkward to me, because it does feel like, what are they trying to portray? What is the punchline?
Right. Like I could laugh at it, but like I didn't want to. Like if that makes any sense. But is that my phone going on?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. But so I got 2 phones.
I got 2 phones, one for the recording and one for the
actual phone. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about Ellen? Like, I like Dakota Johnson coming out.
Oh, I liked her like calling her out and like legitimately like asking the producers to be like, you guys all knew, and like I feel like it was. I just
feel like
fun.
Ellen's show is like a thing where you have to go there and just like kiss her ass and treat her like she's like
Ellen
royalty or something.
Yeah.
It's like, no, girl, like your day will come too. Let's see. What is this Peloton thing? I didn't read into it.
Okay,
but
so
I did
there's
see
been this Peloton commercial that was playing
like the holiday.
It was
like specials and sales.
It was playing all during like last week because of the
Black
different
Friday.
football games and stuff like that was happening. So big spot for holiday gift kind of ads.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for the Peloton, which is
very popular.
Very
We've talked about on the show about the
expensive
music and stuff.
Bike.
Yeah.
That you get a subscription, whatever. So there's this ad has this very beautiful, very thin woman being gifted a Peloton bike for Christmas by her partner, and then she the rest of the ad is her doing little selfie videos, which you're not exactly sure who she's talking to or what she's doing with these videos at first, because she keeps being like, okay, I've like 6 a.m. workout, and then like whatever, and she goes, and then she's on a bike, and then she's like, 5 days in a row, who would have thought? Not me, and like whatever, and like very much so, and it pulls out to being then like this whole video compilation that she plays like the following Christmas for her partner, and she's like sitting next to him as she's watching. She's like, I never would have thought how much this bike would have changed my life. Like, thank you, honey. Like whatever, and like it's bizarre.
Yeah.
So people are like saying like, okay, first of all, they're like, okay, this is very like horror movie vibes, like because because they're like,
I gotta watch this now with some popcorn.
Because they're like, okay, like she's like, is she being like forced to do these updates because like her partner
Who's got the gun to her head?
Like her partner's like, I got you this Peloton bike.
Yeah,
you better
it's either by next Christmas you better lose these shed those pounds or we're getting a divorce.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like kind of creepy. And then like on that same coin, like it's kind of like, okay, so is this body shamey? Because like she's like a very attractive, thin woman, like very fit looking already. Not saying that you can't be like fit and use a bike, obviously, but like just like it's like, okay, so like what is happening? So it's like there's like this whole idea
Did
of
she look fitter?
No. She like there's like one of the tweets was like, oh yeah, like she would like this 116-pound woman goes on this journey to become an 112-pound woman because like her partner like is forcing her to like document her life on this bike. And it's like horrifying. It's just kind of like
I don't know why it's so funny.
And it played so many times this past week because like I was watching a shit ton of football, and it was like every other commercial.
Well, the thing is, like, I think some of these commercials, like, almost like, what we were talking about, like the gimmicks, like, gimmicky things, just because society is liking these type of things, just because maybe in real life people are buying the bikes and doing selfies and documenting their journey.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
it's
this
not
is
good for an ad.
No.
Like, it's like too real. It's almost like you're doing something that's like you're trying to make something normal, but when you put it on like on the screen
and also just
everyone's
like,
watching it, it's like we shouldn't be doing this.
And how it's framed is more like, it's weird because like you never hear anything from the husband, partner, whoever he is. We don't know.
He's voiceless.
But
you don't see him?
You see him give it to her and whatever. And but like the rest of the ad is all her, and then like you see her like, staring intently at him as he watches her little compilation video. So it just like is framed in this like really creepy way.
Like, are you happy now?
Yeah.
And that like I used your gift. And,
yeah, like it's just like.
Do you think it would have been better if like there was like he bought 2 bikes?
Yeah, that could have been kind of cute,
right?
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
but that'd be crazy because Pelotons are $1 million. I don't got $2 million. So they couldn't do that. That would be crazy. No one's getting 2 Pelotons.
No one's getting 2.
No, you know what's funny?
Like,
That's
you gotta
like
be rich.
Yo, that's rich, yo.
That's rich.
To get Peloton, you gotta be rich, yo. That's funny because that's actually from Back to the Future. That's like when he goes back into the past. He goes to his family's house and his like uncles and aunts, and they're like, he's like, oh, I've seen this before. It's like they just got a TV in the house, so he's like, we just got the TV. He's like, do you have a TV at your house? He's like, yeah, actually, we have 2 of them. And then he's like,
you got
2 TVs? You guys must be rich. And then his grandfather's like, son, he's just messing with you. No one has 2 TVs. Like, you know? So, and he's just like, it's just the...
Yeah, because like in the 50s, it's like when the TV first came out. You only have one.
And he was like watching The Honeymooners, and he's like, oh, I've seen this one. It's a rerun. And he's like, what's a rerun? So like, I get it.
It all comes back to the Future,
always.
folks.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
it's the pinnacle
Christ.
of life. But yeah, so I thought that's hilarious. That's really freaking funny. So what is the Spotify streaming awards?
So we talked about them, I think, last week or so. That they had some. I just wanted to highlight a couple because you sent them to me.
Yeah.
But our girl Ari. Remember when this podcast was all about Ari?
Right.
Every week.
Yeah, she's taking a break, which I think she listens to this podcast, so she heard us, took our advice.
She did.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
That's a high five.
Thank you.
We did that. That was us. But she.
That was us.
that was us.
That's all you? All right.
Okay. So she got most streamed female artist for the decade.
And
right?
she, well, first of all, was Spotify even around for 10 years? Has it been around for 10 years?
I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty sure, like, I saw, like, Scooter
It's, like,
Braun
from, like-
say, like, she only came into game in, like, 2012. So it's
Yeah,
like,
like
you know, that's not, there's, like, 3 years missing there. And maybe it's too early to, but I think they're doing the whole decade thing because it's, like, 2020 is coming next year and stuff.
The new decade.
Right.
New decade, new me.
My favorite podcast I listen to is the Joe Budden podcast. That was the number
Besides
one.
ours.
I'll just say that's besides ours, of course. But yeah, my favorite podcast is Joe Budden's, and that's exclusively on Spotify. And they got the number one podcast on there. That's pretty cool. Over like really popular podcasts like My Favorite Murder. Like I know everyone talks about that one, which is really kind of a weird name for a show, right?
I love that. Yeah, people love that fucking show.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, My Favorite Murder, like, that's kind of like downplaying, like, the people that got murdered, right?
No, it's just like a true crime thing. Like, there's like plenty. Like, I mean,
Still, I think they're just like, I don't know. It's a weird concept to me. I like all that stuff.
I mean,
Don't get
like,
me wrong.
My
But
Favorite Murder has been around for. I feel like it's hard. It's like obviously like Joe Budden's gonna get it on Spotify because like he owns that space.
Yeah.
But like obviously like Apple created the podcast, and so like there's some of those guys that have been on like Apple since like podcasts were like.
I think there's something to be said about
little BBs.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about like Joe Budden put his when Spotify signed him to an exclusive deal, he was only doing one show a week, and it was everywhere. And then they signed him, and he did 2 shows a week, and the whole audience still came to Spotify just to listen to that one podcast.
Yeah, no.
He would do cool stuff too, like on Apple Podcasts. Like,
Yeah, like
I don't know how
he
he'd
would
do
do
it.
like joke like ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
he'd
told
be
me
like,
about that.
"Yo, this is not the podcast. Go over to Spotify." And I think Apple eventually caught him doing
I think
that.
Apple was like, bro, you can't do this.
But it was
anymore.
genius. He was like, "Don't listen to it here. We have moved." But so that's interesting. Your girl's about to drop this album a day before your birthday,
Yeah,
Halsey.
Halsey's dropping her album Manic. She posted to her Instagram.
I like the promo. Her
Of
writing
the
out all the
yeah,
songs.
the
and
set
stuff.
list.
Yeah,
The whatever. What am I trying to say?
the track list.
Track list. Thank you. I'm like, there's a different word.
Yeah, so
There's a different word.
that'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah, so
for you.
January 17th, that will be dropping. I'm excited. I think she did something with Alanis Morissette because there's an Alanis interlude, and then the Dominic interlude is, I'm guessing that's when, that's something with Youngblood because that's his first name. So,
But they're not still dating anymore.
no,
are
they're
they?
not. She's dating, what's his name? Evan, whatever the heck from.
He's a model, right?
No, he's from American Horror Story.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. So yeah, because I've been seeing like Youngblood and like MGK and like all these people. Like I'm like, oh, they're all in the ex-boyfriends club.
The
But
Ex-Boyfriends Club.
That's actually we should write that down for like a. That's a good idea.
Yeah, do it. My computer, to the behind the scenes, my computer's currently restarting because our the company likes to do like little hard resets, and for some reason mine decided to just do it.
Well, return to show. Well, good thing it's not my computer. But
Anyways.
well, the next thing we got up here, which I wanted to talk about, you watched right before the show, is Black Widow.
Black Widow, baby.
Yeah. The trailer dropped for it. Obviously, if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler alert. Black Widow dies in Avengers Endgame.
What?
No, straight up. Like, if you don't know that,
if you haven't seen Endgame yet, like I can't.
You probably
help
don't care that we spoiled it.
I can't help you. Okay, like.
But last week or the week before, we were talking about female-driven movies and stuff.
Indeed, we were.
And this is how you do it. This is not too far off of like what a Charlie's Angels type style is. It's like like spies or whatever going off.
Assassin.
Like, right. And this is how you do it. It's an original kind of story. You're taking it from a comic book into like a new thing, but it's like it was done right. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to bring it up because like it's from the trailer I saw, there was more females. There were like 3 females and 1 dude, Hopper from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he's going to be like some
he's like the Russian Captain America.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just wanted to bring up like, another movie that's like female lead and driven that I think was going to be a good movie. The trailer was amazing. So I'm like looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited
and
for
it looked
that.
like it goes into like different points of all the whole cinematic universe, like the beginning, middle, end. And
I mean, we've all been waiting for this. See, this is the thing. People have been asking for a Black Widow story for years.
Mm-hmm.
For years. So like that's the issue, like even like with the whole like whatever, like when we've talked about like more women-led things, is like, why does it take us so fucking long to make these movies?
Yeah, but you're not the creator, V. And like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
Well, listen.
I'm
You're not the
just
creator,
saying.
and also they create these phases, like 2 phases before the next one. So like they have a story, whether you know it or not.
I know how like obviously with like Avengers and everything, like that's the thing. I'm saying in a general sense, in like for movies in general, they haven't like that. There's been plenty of jokes about The Irishman because like there's barely any women in that movie, because it's like the Bechdel test, which I've talked about on this a whole shit ton. Barely, like there's still plenty of like major movies that are not passing the Bechdel test because like we just still aren't like telling women's stories or like like giving women roles.
That's a period piece though too. Like women, like I mean, not saying they didn't have stories, but this story is not going to be like have like a female like. And then I saw people like mad about The Irishman because that one actress, what's her name from True Blood, or where's it, True Blood?
Suki?
Yeah, she was in it and she like says like one thing in the movie, but she's like in it throughout it and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
so that's like she technically probably doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
Well, the thing is, it's like the story itself, like doesn't require her to talk. Like it was like she was saying more without talking, and that's the story. Like it has nothing to do with like female and male thing. Like the point of her not talking in the movie, like if you're like upset that she's not talking enough in the movie, you're missing the whole point of her not talking in the movie. Like she's saying a lot more by not talking in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's also actually an interesting like technique in a movie to have a big star like that not say anything and it still like works, like, you know?
Yeah. I think it just that comes down to a larger, like it just comes down to the fact that like how
honestly the movie kind of revolved around her.
Yeah,
like,
but it's like it comes around to like how are we using women in movies, and like why is it like we're using them as like plot drive, like to like just drive parts of plot instead of like.
But I disagree, because nowadays when I watch movies and like they have the cliche like, oh, this woman and this guy have to link up for this like journey, and they end up like, you know, having to like hook up or whatever like that by the end of it.
Yeah, that doesn't, I mean, like that
now
doesn't,
I see that in a I'm and I'm like, that's so stupid. Like,
yeah,
you know
like
what I'm saying?
that doesn't pass the Bechdel test either, because like the only reason why a woman's there is for love interest.
Right. And I mean I've seen it for guys too. Like, I mean, isn't it romantic? Like, I mean, that's framed around Rebel Wilson and you know, what's his name, Thor's brother.
That's satire on romantic movies for that whole reason, though. That's quite literally what it does. Is it satire?
I'm saying the most popular rom-com movies are centered around women.
But yeah, I mean, that's
my favorite rom-com. Most of my favorite rom-com ones lately are the ones that are about the men.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like rom-coms are centered around women, but like women's only thing is that there to find love. Like, that's the issue, is that like in most movies and movie history is like women's role is to be like a romantic interest or to find love. That's why I'm
but
like,
that's the genre. It's romantic comedy.
I know, but like that the thing is like that's the only movies in the past that have had female leads, is like if they're looking for love, because that's like what their purpose is. That's the larger issue.
Yeah, but well, specifically with Black Widow, like the story arc, it makes sense to me. Like, the only thing that maybe, like, I mean, people could get mad about, why are we making a Black Widow movie after we just watched her die in Endgame?
Yeah.
But like, there's gonna be reasons, like, you know, I like how they do that with the Avengers, and how they kind of go out of. What are you clicking on over here?
I'm just all my
Sorry,
stuff.
now you got me like
all
all
my
thinking about the
stuff had to
clicking.
reload. I'm sorry.
clicky over there. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about well, before we get to the bold, let's talk about your boy Jason Derulo.
Oh yeah, I guess like Jason Derulo. I mean, this is like not really. This is like the quickest of hits. Like, so.
No, I think it opens up a bigger conversation.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of you know, the dick print, you know, guys like having to feel like they're gonna do these things, but that's me as a man. Like, you know, I don't know how women feel about women showing their, you know, nipples through shirts and stuff like that on Instagram. Do you have an issue with that?
I mean, I think I don't like have an issue. I feel like because like women's nipples are sexualized, which is a whole other problem because like men's nipples aren't. But I mean, the only difference.
Okay, what if like a bikini pic and she's showing her ass?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that.
Do you care one way or the other? Because as a man, I care that another man is like just like doing that. And the only reason why I care is like it's just like, why? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you trying
like,
to?
So like, I mean,
you're
like,
trying to thirst trap. That's what you're
like,
trying to do.
Thirst traps, like, but I feel like people have like a right to thirst trap if they want a thirst trap.
Okay, so that's the conversation I'm trying to get to. Why did Instagram take that off of Instagram?
I mean, they take. I mean, I think it's.
They don't take off a lot of stuff. They pick and choose like what they want to take off.
A lot more stuff with like women, honestly, with nipples all the time.
I see nipples all the time on Instagram. I see them like it's like I don't even want to see nipples, and they're just coming up all the time on Instagram.
They're usually more. Or like any birth video, like anything related to birth, those are always taken down because like that's not like, so that becomes a whole thing. It's like, unless they're sexualized in a way that like can be profitable, then it's okay to keep up. But if like it's not fitting a certain frame, then
don't even talk about nipples. Like, we're talking about breast here. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you have a huge breast and you're wearing a tight shirt, they won't take that off of Instagram, even if it shows no cleavage.
Well, no, that's not what I meant. Like, that's not what I'm even referring to.
That's what I'm referring to.
Oh.
I'm saying, why can't a man wear, you know, a bathing suit that's tight and he can't control how big, you know, he is down there and stuff like that? Why is that getting taken off Instagram?
Because people must have reported it. So post removed for nudity or sexual activity, which that's ridiculous. It shouldn't be, because technically there's no sexual activity, nor is he nude.
Right. That's the whole thing. That's the conversation I think is like interesting around it. It's like, you know, for every 100, you know, cases we have for women, I guess, the one case we do have for men instantly, like, you know, gets taken off of Instagram.
It's just, yeah, I mean, that's like kind of ridiculous. I think also it just comes to this thing where Instagram has been crazy about what content they have been flagging or taking down like more and more lately. Like, one of my favorite podcasters, Jackie Schimmel, has been shadow banned and reported, and a bunch of her stuff has been taken down because she does like this funny thing with like her dog, where she always talks about how much she loves her dog, and like how like she's like, she pretends to be like sexually attracted to her dog. Well, she'll be like, my dog is the most beautiful dog ever, I wish I could date my dog. Like, whatever, stupid shit. But like, it is stupid, but like people have been like removing and flagging her stuff, and like she got like a photo of like an old like second grade photo of her taken down because people said it was bullying, but it was like her saying like dick magnet like as the caption. So it's just like Instagram, I feel like.
Well, I'm just saying, okay, so what, they're taking it off because of what, bestiality?
Like, yeah, people are saying
on grounds of that.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so I mean, to me, I'm gonna put it into like pedophilia. Like, what if you were like saying that about like your your niece or nephew, being like, I would marry you. Oh my God, you're so beautiful and stuff.
But that's, I mean, like, that's actual, like, pedophilia, though.
But what if they were joking?
No one would say that no one would do that, though.
No one would say that they love their nephew so much that they want, like, to, like, marry them or something like that. Like, I could definitely see someone being that ridiculous. Like, oh my God, he's so cute. Like, not being serious, but joking about it.
Not, like, in a post. That would be...
Dude, I've seen crazier things on the internet. Like, you have to be.
I don't know.
I could probably pull up like a hashtag that has like a bunch of those in there, and to me, it's just like I get it, like why they're taking things off, but it's like there's so much control on these.
I don't think they should take that down, and I feel like it became, maybe it's because of like how big it, like the puns, how big it got.
The puns. Nice.
Because of like how circulated the post got and like whatever, and then I'm sure because of that, a lot of people were reporting it. People who like were like, you know, oh my God, like we don't want to see that. Which, like, I'm not saying that it's right, and nor like I think obviously
it's messed up, because if like I did it, I don't think like I mean. It would probably cause a stir, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, like, if I did it, I don't think Instagram is coming to block my picture. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it would have to be somebody reporting it, right?
Yeah.
How many reports do you think it gets, though? One report could send it?
I have no idea. That's the thing, is like with Instagram, even like...
Just unfollow that person.
As someone who works, yes, or mute, or whatever. As someone who works, like, in social media, like Instagram literally is the wild west. They don't have like any really like full, not that they'll let anyone know, like really like just strict guidelines of like once it hits this, then you're whatever, once it does that, then you're that. Like it's like very much so like boop.
Well, to me, I think the conversation is, you know, why one person has that much power to just like report it. Like, I get it, you don't want to see it, but the app gives you the opportunity to unfollow somebody or not see it,
remove it.
So at this point now, you just don't want anybody to see it.
And you're like,
and who are you?
And it's not even going against guidelines. Like technically, like it's not breaking any policies.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a period on this conversation, because last week I didn't want to talk about it, and this week I found myself talking about it a lot. But yeah, no. Previously on this podcast, I brought up the fact that Justin Bieber, he, you know, he's used the N-word in the past.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, he's like, it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
he has.
Look it up. Him singing the N-word, like
Sings
over
the N-word.
one of his songs and stuff. And it's, you know, something that like I keep bringing up just because like this is a society we live in where like people will continue, like us, like we'll be fine with Justin Bieber, but like we're picking and choosing who like is winning and losing in these situations. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If somebody else said that, we could like burn him at the stake, but Justin Bieber can say it and he gets away with it and stuff. And it's just like, you can't. There's rules. If you're going to have rules, then it has to apply to everybody. And Justin Bieber over the last week put out a post. What did the post say? It was like a picture in text. It had text on it. And it's
okay, it said stand against racism. And he did, when I was young, I was uneducated and found myself saying really hurtful things, not knowing the power of my words. Okay, Justin.
Found myself after, like, before he was about to go and sing to millions of people.
You know who found you, bruh? Usher. He's black. Anyways, racism is still very prevalent, yeah. And I want to use my voice to remind we are all human beings. Jesus, his lack of grammar. And all of equal value before God. Amen, Beebs. All right. Well, that's what he said.
Yeah, I honestly, those type of things, it's like I would talk about it in an interview. Don't put it out as a post. Like I just feel like if you want to talk about it, like
maybe like a video, like make it like a video, like something where it's like
we're in an age where you could go to some platform and talk about it. Go to Joe Rogan and talk about it with him. Be like, all right,
go to any radio station that wants any radio station would take to talk, like would take an interview.
All I'm saying is, if you're really gonna like, that's not enough for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna forget about you.
I was hurtful. Here's his post. It says stand against racism. Like, unless he needs now, I'm like, okay, if you want to stand against racism, buddy, start putting your money where your mouth is and start donating or actually doing the work. Like, it's all good and dandy to do a little fucking post saying stand for racism, but if you actually like,
that's like my thoughts and prayers.
If you don't do any like actual work or anything else like of any other activism,
and I'm not talking about praying.
That,
I'm not talking about praying. Like I'm talking about like do something, dude. Like that should have been a video of you like, you know, helping a community or doing something.
Or like anything, because like now it's like you have a giant fucking platform and you've used it in the past to use a harmful word against a whole community. Yeah. Like you can't act like you're gonna be chill about it.
Right. So it's just interesting that it always comes back though. And he brought it back into the picture. I think he was probably like feeling it. Like there must have been something that prompted him to like do that. But I mean, it really didn't stop people like black people from messing with him, which is kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, no.
So what made you go yikes this week, V?
All right. So there is something that went viral.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called, I think, perineum. It's like, so it's like the area between your butthole and either your scrotum or your vagina.
Oh, it's the gooch.
Yes, it's perineum. Yeah, sunning. Perineum sunning. So it's like tanning your butthole pretty much. So there's some like some lifestyle bullshit blogger person.
Wow, so we were bleaching our buttholes and now we're tanning our buttholes?
We can't decide. So.
Oh my goodness.
We can't decide.
Just leave your butthole alone.
It's a rough time down there. But
it's a rough time.
So she did a post and like explained how like 30 seconds of perineum sunning like brings you more vitamin D than whatever, like a whole day of being out, whatever, some bullshit. And like how it like relates to some ancient Taoism like practice and all this shit. And it was this post of her like literally like holding her ankles and like her ass to the sun. Okay, and so people are like,
I think I saw a picture of Diplo doing it.
I'm sure
Diplo had his legs up.
I'm sure Diplo's like such a troll. That's such a thing he would do.
Yeah.
And so then Josh Brolin, an actor, said that he tried it and he got sunburnt.
He got his butthole burnt
down there. So people are just like, it's ridiculous because like there's no like really medical scientific like backing to what they're saying that this
people
brings
do
all
that
these
all
benefits
day.
And like
people will do that all day.
It's ridiculous. So it was hilarious to see it all over the internet.
It's an LA thing.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Them and their colonics and everything. They love to do shit with that butthole, man. Anyways, do we want to talk about the other ones? Or?
Let's just get into our main topic.
Let's do it. Let's mini main it up.
Mini main topic.
Mini main it up.
I know I messed up. I didn't get the investigation music that we wanted.
Yeah, so this is Future Bachelor Investigates. Yeah. Whoa.
Fine, let me get the job. Use this. Yeah. Future Bachelor Investigates. That worked. Okay, cool. Well, Future Bachelor Investigates. It's gonna be like, we'll do this once from time to time. But this was a conversation we had last year. Do you remember what episode that was? I should have done all this beforehand, but I'm just saying.
It was episode.
No, you don't remember.
Because it was really Little Far Cringey. Back. It's probably like maybe in the 20s or 30s.
Okay. Well, yeah, Little Cringey was the name of the episode, but essentially back then, an interview came out of Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, talking about how her and Drake are like best friends
all the time.
Text all the time. And because
she was 14 at the time.
Yeah, she was 14 at the time. There's no reason why a 30-year-old man should be texting a girl saying like what were they saying? Like, or talking about giving boy advice and stuff like that. And I think he was like saying I miss you or something.
Something creepy.
And that's really kind of crazy. We called it a little cringy. Like
it a little cringy.
I'm just saying, like, if it happened in real life or whatever. So to me, I just feel like the conversation came back again because they've been doing this like annual thing with what's the magazine? I forgot what it is, but they do.
Oh, Vanity Fair. Oh, Vanity Fair does this thing. So with Billie Eilish, they did a video like 2 years ago when she was 15, and then they did a redo of it when she was 16, and then they did one this year when she was 17, where they pretty much like ask her from like the first video, they ask her the same question, so it kind of like shows her growth as a star and also like just as a teenager, and like she'll rewatch what she said and everything like that.
I think it'll be the most interesting thing about that like experiment
concept
is to see if she actually like learns from those each year.
Yeah.
I think it's cool for just her in general because like I don't know, like I feel like every year like she thinks she's like smarter, but like and then the next year she's like I was so stupid. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so it's like how do you take if you were able to look at a video of yourself from a year ago with asking these questions. Actually, I think it's a good experiment.
This is
I might
really,
start
I mean,
on 2020.
like, it's like a cool thing. It's like kind of like a time capsule thing. Like I remember as a little kid, I had a couple of like time capsule things where like I would write out like when I was like in third grade or whatever, it'd be like in 10 years, like where do you think you'll be? What do you think you'll be doing? What do you whatever? And like you write all that stuff and whatever. Like that was like more like I was like I think I'll be married and like whatever. And I was like, bitch, you were not.
We're close. We're going backwards.
Regressive.
But yeah, no. So as she's doing that, she's like, you know, who is like one of the things is like who is like the most famous person in your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's like interesting to see. Like this year, she's just naming off a bunch of people. She's like
Episode 26.
Yeah. Little
to find
cringy. So she goes. Drake, you know, he's so nice. Like we text, like you know, we've texted. He's so nice. Like he doesn't even have to be, and all this different stuff. And
yeah,
it's like
he doesn't have to be, girl.
Yeah, and why is he texting you? Like
you're 17. You're underage. They're both underage. Why is he texting these underage females?
Because he's R. Kelly, dude. Like you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
I don't want to say he's as like perverted and sick as R. Kelly, but he could be. Like you know what I'm saying? No one thought that of R. Kelly, even with video proof. And you know, so you know, when it comes to Drake, what I think he's doing, he's the sick part. What I think he's doing is he's hollering at these young girls, getting in their head, so when they turn 18, he can just hook up with them.
Yeah, or like, so some people are saying like, okay, is he like grooming them?
Yeah, that's
like,
grooming.
Like he's like, you know, like kind of, and you know, it could always be under the guise of being like a mentor in the industry.
That's what R. Kelly did.
I mean, exactly.
And like what I texted you the other day, it's like the difference between R. Kelly and Drake is that Drake has the blueprint of how not to do it.
Yeah. Drake can like,
you know, with R. Kelly,
see.
he could see like the mistakes R. Kelly made and try not to make those same mistakes.
Ooh.
Even though he is, and he finds himself doing that. Like literally, Millie Bobby Brown had to like, had to put out a statement being like, way to ruin like a lovely friendship. Like you guys are weird. Like why are you making this into something it wasn't? But a 14-year-old girl has no concept of like what a 30-year-old man is doing.
Yeah, no.
To her, you know what I'm saying? So
No.
he like she could think it's completely innocent when he's like, you know, grooming her like seeds, like little seeds of grooming and stuff. And it's not like he hasn't dated an 18-year-old before or anything like that. So it's like, and we see it all the time. That's what's the cringy part of the 18-year-old line. It's like you're good one day and you're not the next, or like you're not good one day and you're good the next, just over a birthday. And like, you know, 1 minute you can hook up with you know, a girl, and 1 minute you can't, or you know.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know. I think there's a problem there. Like what, and then Drake stopped liking all of Millie Bobby Brown's pictures because it's the optics of it and everything. And
Yeah.
you know, what are you supposed to do? Like what? I mean, Twitter went crazy on it. Like, I guess you could say one side, it's like, you know, there's just famous people talking to each
Yeah.
other. They understand things that like the normal person doesn't. But like, is that an excuse for an older guy to be texting a younger girl? How old is she now? 16?
She's 17.
Millie Bobby Brown?
No, Millie Bobby Brown's 15.
Billie Eilish?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could tell, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way if Drake was asked about Millie Bobby Brown or Billie Eilish, it's not like he's like, oh my God, like Billie Eilish is the nicest girl ever. Like he'd probably be like, she's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's very talented and blah, blah, blah. But because of their age and their, you know, their vantage point to Drake, they're very excited about it. Like,
well, yeah.
2 years ago,
like he's a star.
He's the biggest. You were nothing, and then now you're
he's
huge.
He's been in the game for a long time because
Right.
he's much older than them.
Yep.
So like he's been doing like the acting thing and then the singing thing and whatever. And it's like one of the tweets that I saw was talking about how like so Billie Eilish purposely like dresses in her her oversized clothes and everything like that to avoid being sexualized. Like that's like a big part of her personal brand is that like she like hated the fact that like she's like come out saying how like she like hasn't like she was very developed like at a young age, so she had big boobs and like whatever, and she's like I started singing when I was like 14 15 and I couldn't have being sexualized and like whatever by like creepy older dudes. But it's like then it's like it doesn't fucking matter because then we've got
the
like
creepy older dudes can still see through all the sweatshirts.
Creepy older dudes out here who are potentially under the guise of being like a mentor in the music industry because that's an easy way to pretend like it's chill.
I wanted to talk about it because like I think it's like it's good to document like our conversations around it.
Yeah.
Like Billie Eilish
Yeah.
each year.
We're evidence.
Yeah. We're like Vanity Fair right now. But
yeah, we're evidence.
I just want to be able to say that like we're putting it down as that's not good behavior.
No.
Right? Or is there nothing wrong with that, or is there something
like
wrong with that?
It's like we said, episodes and episodes back. It's cringy because there's no way for us to just like look at that at its face value and not see how that's potentially problematic. Like obviously there's parts of it that are like, oh, like, they're in the industry together. It's like that's how they.
To me, I'm finding it hard to separate Drake's like playboy ways and from his philanthropy with these young female.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, and
talents.
I wouldn't even always peg him as like a playboy, but like, yeah, I mean, like,
what do you mean?
He has like a kid with a porn star.
No, he literally is like with another girl every other week, so it's like he's definitely a playboy.
He was only ever super faithful to Rihanna, but Rihanna had to let him go. Good for her, girl. But
I bet you he wanted to be faithful to J-Lo, but that didn't work out for him.
LOL.
She curved him.
LOL. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But so I mean, it comes down to, and yeah, I guess your whole thing about like how like the weird how it's like okay you're 17 one day and then you're 18 the next and then it's fine. And that's like an interesting concept, and it's like obviously like those were made because like laws and because like we have to set some sort of boundary for a lot of work because we can't just be like, well, they seem ready. Like so like that it is like a weird concept, especially because like emotional maturity can be so different than like your actual physical age, like I think of plenty of young women or older women or whatever that like you could see like they have the same emotional maturity. Same with men. I could see many young men who have a higher emotional maturity or whatever, many old men that have a younger emotional maturity, things like that. So it becomes like super complicated because it's like, okay, potentially, I mean, Millie Bobby Brown is extremely emotionally mature, I would say, just based on things that she's done in acting, things that she's done like in philanthropy and
but that's
things
a
like that.
14-year-old kid trying to be a grown-up.
Exactly. So it's like, so she's like
that doesn't make her a grown-up. You
exactly.
know what I'm saying?
She's performing a certain way.
Even if she wants to say like she knows her own thoughts, she doesn't because she's not a grown-up.
No.
You could talk and read books or do whatever you want all day long. But just because like you're on a hit show, you're 14 years old.
You don't have the experiences yet. And you don't have.
So what do you think the answer is? Like, do we keep it at 18? Like, I mean, what is the right thing here? Well, obviously, we don't want adults like hooking up with kids. But like to me, it's really messed up in my head that like you literally cannot hook up with this person until midnight. That's weird to me, right?
Yeah, it is weird. I mean. And it happens, and technically is statutory rape, but like, I mean, it becomes like a whole thing. I don't know. I mean, like that becomes like.
It's like, so where do you draw the line for Drake then? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not doing anything but texting her.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, it's like you're almost setting up the society to you can groom somebody, but the second they hit that, and if you can have the patience to wait till 18, it's all yours.
Yeah, which like I mean, and that comes down to, it's like I guess like how much can, like, because legally, how much can we do to tell somebody to not contact somebody? Like,
you just publicly shame them, like we do
like,
to Drake.
Yeah, I mean, like, so that's what yeah. So it's like, obviously, like, we never want like somebody to be grooming somebody like the way that he potentially could be. That's not what anybody wants. And it's like, okay,
it should be inherent, like in you, like if you know a girl's age. I'm not saying you haven't, like. You talk to someone and you realize they're underage and you're like, oh shit, like I've messed up, sorry. But you know their age. And, you inherently have to just be like, I'm not going to text you. Just because I'm famous doesn't give me the right to text a 14-year-old girl.
Just because you're famous, yeah.
Right. And on top of that, it's like, why? There's so many friggin' people out there. Like, why are you texting this, like, girl? Like,
Yeah, no.
So... I don't know. It's just really weird.
It is weird, and I just feel like, yeah, it comes down to being like, this is kind of on Drake. Like, Drake should understand that this kind of behavior isn't going to be looked kindly at, nor does it really. It doesn't even, like, why is he behaving this way? Like, why does he think that this is appropriate?
I think, okay, if I'm saying it like kind of how I'm seeing it right now. These girls are saying these things about Drake in the interviews.
Yeah.
That are supposed to be like,
because they idolize
positive
Drake.
Things about him, right?
Like, they idolize. That's like how R. Kelly got all of his victims. Like, they idolized him. Like, that's even with like Michael Jackson, like, they idolized him. Like, that is like an abuse of power, because you're an idol to these women. Like, they're not even women, they're girls. You're an idol to them, and that's an abuse of power, because they're obviously going to want that kind of attention or whatever, because they're like, oh my God, this is my idol.
Yeah, he's been with J-Lo, he's been with Rihanna. Now he's paying attention to me.
He's paying attention to me.
Yeah.
And they're not going to like see it as like, oh my God, like I'm super young and he's paying attention to me. This is weird. They're being like, this is my idol. I can't believe he cares about me.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, like it could be completely innocent.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't think it is.
But like we can't say that it is, because like it's like, I don't know, like it feels.
But he's
weird.
Also a clout chaser.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
which is
another
even
thing.
Gross. Honestly, that's just as gross to be like chasing the clout.
He's preying on clout, but it's like
because on young girls, because it's like, okay, because that's like the easy way to get the clout.
To me, I just think like Stranger Things was like the most talked about thing when he was dropping a Scorpion album. So he threw her one of those leather Scorpion jackets, and it got like him 10 million views from her Instagram post just from that alone. But that turns into a friendship. Billie Eilish is one of the biggest artists right now, so he's going to reach out to her, but there's video. There's a video of Drake on stage, like he like a 17-year-old girl.
Like he gropes her or something.
Well,
he
like says stuff like he's like, I like your chest up against mine. That's after he found out that she was 17. So he is grody. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was talking about, like these artists bringing girls up on stage and it's like, and then dancing on them and stuff like that. Why are we doing that still? Like, stop. Like, this is not like Trey Songz anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to be doing this stuff. Like, you know, what makes you like this, like, I don't know. It just gets in my head. Like, I'm like, dude, Drake, you got everything to lose. Like, you do, yeah. And he's already making really bad, like, life decisions in general, I feel like. And it's just not good looks. So I just kind of wanted to bring it up because it's a little cringy. It's
now it's becoming a lot cringy.
Yeah, a lot cringy. Big cringy.
Big cringy.
Big cringy. Thank you. Yeah, that was our mini main topic in Future Bachelor Investigates. So, you know, we got the top private eyes on it.
That's us.
That's the FBI.
I'm the Nancy.
Future Bachelor Investigates.
Yeah.
FBI.
FBI.
We love acronyms over here. So okay, cool. We got a lot of cool main topics to talk about here in the future episodes.
And the Future Bachelor.
But yeah, nice. Okay, cool.
Every time. Like, I'm gonna do it every time.
Well, let's get into our slapper of the week.
Let's do it.
this song right here is not necessarily brand new, but it's been catching on to me. Like, have you heard this song?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bop by DaBaby. DaBaby,
I love DaBaby.
has been nominated for 2 Grammys next year. Best new rap. I think they're both for his song Suge. But
I love that damn song.
Yeah, this song
Gets me hype.
This song right here, I looked at the video on YouTube, and it's like a hip hop, like Broadway they call it, but it's really a lot of energy, and I've been seeing people do like the dance challenge to it, which is really
I need
funny.
to watch now.
So I think I'm gonna try to do one this weekend. We'll see if it works out. But
Yeah.
anyways, I think it's just like a really good song. And it's you're gonna hear some swearing. Sorry, Mom, but
Like what? What show have you been on?
I'm just saying though, like most of the time with these slappers are not like always hip hop, and like I always like it's like almost like
You
I don't know,
cringe?
but sometimes I cringe sometimes myself. But this song is like just sometimes songs are just good riding songs. Like you just got a good party song, and this is it. So without further ado, let's get into our slapper of the week. It's called Bop. Not Bop by Hanson, but Bop by DaBaby. Let's go.
Farthest thing from Hanson.
My favorite song, too.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
Yeah.
Slapper.
Wow, that did it by itself. I didn't even break start that one. But
That's hilarious.
that was our slapper of the week, Bop by DaBaby. Yeah, I just think it's a bop. And that's what it is.
Bop.
Ask for
It
some
is a
shit with a
bop.
bop in it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a good one. So look out for my dance video challenge this weekend. I'm gonna try to do it. We'll see what happens.
Wait, you should invite me. I'm a dancer.
Are you a dancer?
I'm a
Okay.
dancer.
What do you got for some shout outs, V?
I wanted to shout out a couple of my best friends just for being good listening ears. So my
Okay.
friend Dee Dee, we call each other sisters because we're born on the same day. And then my friend Allison, who I actually was on the phone with right before I got in here.
Yeah. Usually Veronica calls me when she's at the door. It's like my ring. Like I don't ever pick it up. I just know she's at the door when she calls.
But you just heard me.
I heard your
window.
loud ass voice coming up the corridor.
I purposely got louder because I knew you would just
heard.
open the door for
Yeah.
me.
That's
but
what's
then
up.
I wanted to do some birthday shout outs to my pals Brendan and then Michelle. So she got engaged and it was her birthday. So
Nice.
really like the trifecta of like Thanksgiving, engaged, birthday.
Word. Well, I guess I'll continue the birthday shout outs.
Boop,
Our
boop.
girl Jean V.
Yeah.
We're going to be hopefully getting to that party here.
I will
Bangers.
be, yeah, for sure. I'll be banging it up.
I also wanted to do a birthday shout out to my girl Ebony. Who also has a birthday this Saturday and a party as well. So that's making things exponentially difficult. And then a third birthday, Jay. He's got his birthday on Saturday. But 2 people I've really wanted to link up with or give a shout out to was my girl Emily. I worked with her at the company down in Orlando,
company.
and she. She's like hasn't been on social media for like the last like 3 years.
What a
So
life.
literally she called me. I guess someone had told her that I was in Orlando. She called me and she was like, "Hey, I heard you're in Orlando." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like it's messed up. But like I completely forgot about you because you're not on social media anymore."
bold.
And like, I mean, we both moved away and then she
No,
moved
I
back
get
and
it. No,
stuff.
I totally feel you.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you were dead. Like, it was one of those things. But she ended up coming over and hanging out with me and my friends and stuff like that. So that was cool. Shout out to you, Emily. And then I also wanted to shout out my friend Luke Dow. He's from my hometown, upstate New York, Lake George. And he's every year he goes on like a big road trip. Like, he takes pictures and he literally has driven over 8,000 miles.
Hasn't he didn't he put our sticker on the back of his
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And he stopped through Atlanta for the first time and he came and stayed with me. It was like we went out for a drink and had to
so
wake up
fun.
early. But I just want to shout him out. Maybe he'll be listening on the road trip and this will
the
bring him.
road again.
I love you, bro. So yeah, it was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool,
What you got going on in life? How's everything going into the weekend? You good?
Oh, I'm trying to plan my outfit for John B's party.
Why is that?
Because we gotta look hot, boy.
That's not what you said earlier.
Because we gotta look. As there's a GIF from or a meme from Paris Hilton and what's her fetch.
Nicole Richie?
Nicole Richie's show, Simple Life, where they said, "Let's get slutty tonight." that's what has been sent between Jonesy
Oh, so you're just putting that on Paris Hilton?
We said the vibe. That is the vibe check.
All right, cool. Well, I will be in pajamas.
Honestly, I think that's a good vibe check for you coming to the party. I think that'll be fun.
You think so?
Honestly, yes.
Well, yeah, Ebony's doing the pajama party thing. We're doing like brunch and mimosas and stuff at like 1 p.m. So everyone
It's a
has to be
long
wearing.
day, dude.
I know.
That's why
what
I'm telling you,
saying.
sandwich that shit.
I know, but I'm already in my pajamas. But I'm just like, I'm going to sleep here.
Okay, so then my thing is, you just gotta pace yourself.
I know.
Like,
I
have
hate
some.
pacing.
I know. Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
I know. It's been in my head a lot. But yeah, so that's our weekends, guys.
You'll hear more later.
I'm hoping we can maybe get a guest for next week. I kind of like want to throw in somebody.
We gotta figure out who.
But I just and also I've been thinking about our 100th episode too. We got to talk about that. It's coming up. It's gonna come up like 2 months from now, right?
Yeah.
About 2 months. So it's funny though. My sister told me, she was like, literally our episodes, because we do it every week. Give a 5 for us and a house. Because we do this every week. Like literally, she's like gets anxious and like anxiety from seeing us post each week, because it's like episode 88. She's like, holy crap, I haven't listened since episode 83, and that was like 5 episodes ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it,
oh
like
my God.
it's like really messes with her sense of time. Like she's like, geez, like it's like another one. Like, you know, not in a bad way, but just being like, damn. These
I feel like sometimes I feel that way though. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really crazy. Like, when you think back to like, remember when we used to be like, oh my God, I can't believe we're about to be at 20.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do that because I was like, I did my, my morning routine on recording days where I look back through a couple scrolls of the feed to see what I can wear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, have I worn this?
Yeah.
Which I haven't.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So.
You know what I do? I just keep adding on to the
You just
outfit.
keep adding on
Yeah,
layers.
just put on another layer.
Because,
of it, yeah.
and then you never have to turn your heat on.
Right, exactly. So I do that, and then I start taking them off, and it's just like, it works in both ways. So so yeah, well, okay, cool. So next week we might have a surprise. Cool. All right.
Cool.
But all right, guys. Well, we love you. You know what we do here. Make sure to follow us on wherever we are, and listen to whatever we do. And
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just whatever.
All right, guys. Bye. No, I'm joking. All right, this has been Future Bachelor. Next week, I forgot though. Next week is episode 89.
No, next week is episode 90.
Oh
bro.
my God. I'm actually messing up numbers.
We're in 89.
I'm messing up numbers. That's crazy. That's how many we've done.
Yeah, because that's not how numbers work, what you just did.
Can you believe we're going to be at triple digits? Anywho, Future Bachelor, guys, my name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And we'll see you next week, all right?
Bye.
Deuces. Beat you.
Future Bachelor Podcast.